Good morning, my dear students. I hope all of you are fine and taking care of yourself. Today we are going to continue with accounting for shares. We are in company accounts, and today we are going to take a one new situation where we are going to learn about issue of share at par, and there is oversubscription. Along with that, there will be calls in arrear and calls in advance. Okay, so this calls in advance is a new topic for you all. Okay, along with that, there's some adjustment to the allotment also. So before proceeding, I'll just give you a journal entry for that. Journal entry in case of journal entry the when there is oversubscription. Okay, or I have actually given this entry earlier also, but still I'm repeating it once again. Journal entry when there is oversubscription. Okay, oversubscription. Oversubscription. What is the meaning of that oversubscription? The meaning of oversubscription is that as many shares you have issued, you have received more than that applications. Okay, so if you receive more than that application, then it will be called situation of oversubscription. So what will be the journal entry for that? At the time of receiving this very simple entry, bank account debit to application account, okay, to share application or equity share application account. But at the time of transfer, the entry will be there. Okay, so I'm just making it transfer. I'm going to give only the transfer entry. Okay, the transfer entry. What will be transfer entry? It will be like this. Equity share, I'm just giving it equity. It may be preference share also. Depending on that, you are going to change the name, or it might be only share. Okay, so equity share application account debit. Okay, equity share application account debit. The total amount of total amount received on application. Okay, total amount received on application. Clear? Whatever the total amount you're getting, that will be coming here. That is total amount received on application. To equity share capital account. Okay, equity share capital account uh, will include that amount of money which, okay, it will include that amount of money which you are going to, which you have issued. Okay, not more than that amount of application money issued. Application money. Okay, amount of application money of shares, number of shares issued. Okay, shares issued. जितना शेयर तुमने इशू किया है, उसके ऊपर जो पैसा होता है वो आएगा तुम्हारे अमाउंट ऑफ एप्लीकेशन में. ओके, सॉरी, इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल में. फिर आता है टू एक्सेस. अगर जो है वो रिटर्न बैक हो जाएगा टू बैंक अकाउंट. ठीक है, ये बैंक अकाउंट में आ गया कौन सा अमाउंट? एक्सेस जो रिफंड करेंगे हम लोग. ओके, एक्सेस रिफंडेड. क्लियर? एक्सेस जो रिफंड करेंगे हम लोग. फिर आता है हमारा नेक्स्ट वाला टू इक्विटी शेयर अलॉटमेंट अकाउंट. Okay, equity share allotment account. I have already discussed this particular entry earlier also, but I'm repeating once again. Equity share allotment account. Okay, equity share allotment account कितना होगा? Adjustment amount adjusted to allotment. Okay, amount adjusted to allotment. ये कॉल में भी जा सकता है. Okay, फर्दर कुछ भी नेक्स्ट प्रोसेस में जा सकता है. Like it may go to the equity share first call, it may go to the equity share second call, like this. Okay, okay, so this is how the entry will look like. ठीक है, इक्विटी शेयर एप्लीकेशन अकाउंट डेबिट टू इक्विटी शेयर कैपिटल अकाउंट टू बैंक अकाउंट इक्विटी शेयर अलॉटमेंट अकाउंट और फर्स्ट कॉल एंड सब्सिक्वेंटली. राइट, ये हो जाएगा एडजस्टमेंट वाला. ठीक है, क्लियर? नाउ अनदर थिंग यू शुड नो अबाउट journal entry for calls in advance. When there is calls in advance, अगर calls in advance होता है तो क्या journal entry होगा? ठीक है, उसके केस में journal entry क्या होगा? सिंपल, जो अमाउंट रहेगा उसको बैंक अकाउंट डेबिट करना है, जो एडवांस आया है बैंक अकाउंट डेबिट. कंबाइन एंट्री भी कर सकते हैं हम लोग. बैंक अकाउंट डेबिट टू कॉल्स इन एडवांस. ये calls in advance. This is a this calls in advance. This is our liability. That is why it is shown in the credit side. Okay, whatever the liability will be there, it will be showing credit, isn't it? So that is why calls in advance, it is in the credit side, and once you receive the money, it will come in the bank, so bank account debit. So journal entry is bank account debit to calls in advance. Okay, I hope all of you have understood these two journal entries. Now we can go with the practical solution. Here is a solution. Here is a question. Rohit and company issued 30,000 equity shares of 10 each, payable ₹3 on application. 3 रुपए application का हो गया, ₹3 on allotment, 3 रुपए allotment में हो गया, ₹2 on the first call after 2 month. Okay, 2 महीने के बाद ₹2 on the first call. Final call के बारे में कुछ नहीं बताया. No problem, we can find it out because it is, if the amount is ₹10 per share, if it is ₹10 and ₹3 if it is coming on application and ₹3 on allotment, so कितना हुआ 6 and ₹2 on first call, कितना हुआ 8. So remaining how much? ₹2. So that will be the second and final call, right? So that means it is coming ₹8 till now we are taking, right? So let's see after that what is here. The company received applications for 35,000 shares. So issued is, how many shares we have issued? 35,000 shares. Okay, 30,000 shares. We have issued 30,000 shares. Clear? And how many shares did we receive? Receive was 35,000, isn't it? Receive was 35,000. So it is a situation of oversubscription, isn't it? You have received more than what you have issued. So it is a situation of oversubscription. So in that case, what will happen? In case of oversubscription, we have to make certain adjustment. Just now we have seen a journal entry for that. After that, what is given? See, the company received application for 35,000 shares. 2,000 share applications were sent letter of regret, मतलब reject कर दिया गया है. Letter of regret मतलब उनको reject कर दिया. 2,000 shares को हम लोगों ने reject कर दिया. We have issued how many? 30,000 and we have received 35,000. So कितना excess है? 5,000 is the excess, right? So this 5,000, whatever it is excess, from there what is told that 2,000 share application were sent letter of regret. From that 5,000 extra, what we have? 2,000 were rejected. And the excess remaining, कितना excess remaining है? Excess कितना remaining है? 35,000 में, और 35,000 में excess कितना है? 5,000, right? उसमें से 2,000 हम लोगों ने reject कर दिया. Okay, we have rejected 2,000. So how many left? 3,000 extra we have. So that the extra what we have, okay, the excess remaining were adjusted towards allotment. Whatever extra was there, that will go in the allotment account. Okay, we'll go with the allotment. Okay, that is called adjustment with allotment. After that, what is told? All the money were duly received, but okay, जितना भी call किया सारा पैसा मिल गया. All the money we have received, but when the first call was made, when the company made the first call, okay, what happened? A shareholder having 400 shares did not pay the first call. Okay, ये जो जिसके पास 400 shares था first वाला, वो pay नहीं किया first call money. ठीक है? And a shareholder of 300 shares, दूसरा shareholder था 300 share वाला, paid the money for the second and final call of ₹2 का जो second and final call का पैसा था, ये 300 वाला दे दिया. Okay, there are two situations. One, a shareholder having 400 shares did not pay the first call. Okay, that means this is a situation of calls in arrear. I'll just make it red color so that you can understand. Red color, that indicates calls in arrear. A shareholder having 400 shares did not pay the first call, so calls in arrear. And another shareholder was there of 300 shares, paid the money for the second and final call of ₹2. उसने क्या किया कि अपना सेकेंड एंड फाइनल कॉल का भी पैसा उसने दे दिया. ओके, सेकेंड एंड फाइनल कॉल का भी पैसा दे दिया. दैट मींस दिस इज अ सिचुएशन ऑफ calls in advance. If you are paying before time, so when he is paying, see, and a shareholder of 300 paid the money for the second and final call, which has not yet not which has not been which has not been made as yet, means we have not made it, means we have not made the second call due. Second call हम लोगों ने ड्यू नहीं किया, लेकिन क्या हुआ, उसका पैसा जो है उसने ऑलरेडी दे दिया. दैट मींस ये सिचुएशन ऑफ कॉल्स इन एडवांस. टाइम से पहले अगर दे दे तो कॉल्स इन एडवांस बोलते हैं. ठीक है. So the question is asking you to prepare the journal entries in the books of the company. So let's start. First one, Rohit and company issued how many? 30,000 shares. And how many applications you have received? 35,000. So at the time of receiving, you cannot reject anything. Later on, we can reject. So first of all, we will receive all the 35,000. Journal entry is bank account debit. How much amount? How many shares? 35,000 into what is the application money? ₹3. So 35,000 into 3. Bank account debit 35,000 into 3. to equity share application account, right? So bank account debit 35,000 into 3, 1,05,000 to equity share application account 1,05,000. Okay, being application money received on 35,000 shares. Okay, being application money received on 35,000 shares, rupees 3 per share. Okay. Now comes next the transfer entry. Every situation has got two parts. Application का receive entry, transfer entry. Allotment का due, then receive. Then first call also due, then receive, right? In the same way. So now the transfer entry. We have seen there is a situation. What is the situation here? We can see that this 35,000 were the number of shares we have received, right? These were the shares. Okay, this was the shares. So out of this 35,000 shares, how it has been distributed, see, this 30,000 will go directly, the number of shares that we have issued, right? That will directly go to the, where it will go? It will go in the share capital account. Okay, this will go in the share capital account. Okay, then after that, next, what is that? Remaining 2,000 we have rejected. So 2,000 shares will go back to the bank. Rejected. Rejected means will go to the बैंक बैंक से पेमेंट हो बैंक से उसको हम लोग रिटर्न बैक कर देंगे और बचा कितना व्हाट इज द रिमेनिंग लेफ्ट इज 3,000 isn't it so this 3,000 shares is told that we have to adjust with the allotment okay adjustments क्या करना है adjustment okay adjustments तो adjustment कहाँ पे होगा allotment में जाके it is told in the question isn't it question में ही बता के दे दिया so this is the situation okay 35,000 shares है 30,000 shares will go to share capital 2,000 will be rejected will go to the bank and 3,000 shares will be adjusted with allotment see it is told here I'm repeating once again the company received applications for 35,000 shares okay ये 35,000 clear उसके बाद देखो क्या बोला 2,000 share application were sent letter of regret मतलब 2,000 को reject कर दिया okay and the excess remaining were adjusted towards allotment जो भी excess है कितना बचा excess 3,000 जो allotment में चला जाएगा this 30,000 there is no change it will obviously go to the share capital clear so now it's time for transferring so what is the entry we just saw just now equity share application account debit to equity share capital to bank to share allotment account so see how it is appearing equity share application account debit 35,000 into 3 1,05,000 to equity share capital account 30,000 into 3 how much 90,000 to equity share allotment account 3,000 into 3 how much 9,000 and to bank account the refund that is the excess how much to bank account 2,000 into 3 all the application money is 6,000 rupees clear hope all of you have understood that okay 6,000 now let's go to the next part allotment so now we have seen that some amount of allotment money we have already received at a time of application okay this we have already received at a time of application excess application money was adjusted to allotment but remember that at the time of making due entry don't compromise with that the due entry will be made on all the shares so how many shares we have issued remember issued or subscribed whichever is less that will take so issued and subscribed how many is less which one is the less 30,000 so on 30,000 the rest of the entries will be taken up so what is the next one it is the allotment so allotment was of 3 rupees so due entry there's no problem so what is the entry for due equity share allotment account debit to equity share capital account how much 30,000 into 2 see the allotment money sorry 3 rupees so 30,000 into 3 so equity share allotment account debit 30,000 into 3 90,000 to equity share capital account 30,000 into 3 90,000 being allotment money due on 30,000 shares okay being allotment money due on 30,000 shares as the rate rupees 3 per share okay the rate rupees 3 per share 90,000 then coming to the next one transfer entry what will be the transfer entry at the time say receive entry at the time of receiving just check out whether there is any problem with allotment all the money were duly received but when the first call was made a shareholder has failed so there's no problem in case of allotment so what will be receive entry bank account debit right to equity share allotment account so bank account debit how much we are going to receive see our amount was due how much? 9,000, 90,000, and we have already received 9,000 rupees. Already we have received 9,000 rupees, isn't it? We have already received 9,000 rupees in the allotment. Ye wala. Okay, we have already received 9,000 rupees. So it will be bank account debit 90,000 into 9,000. Okay, there's a mistake here. It will be 90,000 into 9,000. So what is the amount that is coming here? It will be 81,000, right? 81,000. Equity bank account debit to equity share allotment account 81,000, 81,000. Okay, being allotment money received. Okay, being allotment money received. Here. Then coming to the next one. That is the first call. We have already seen that the company has not made, which has not yet been made, means they have not made the second and final call. So only up to the first call we have to do. So what is given? You have to remember that you have to do the entries. You have to put up the entries only to the extent the company has made the call. If nothing is mentioned, then you take it, assume that all of the entry has been done. So everything you will do. But here it is told that which has not yet been made means the second and final call has not yet been made. Okay, so let's see what is there after that. What is the next one? First call. So what the first call is of 2 rupees, right? So there's no problem with the due entry. What will be the due entry? Equity share first call account debit 30,000 to 2 equity share capital account, isn't it? So we know that equity share first call account debit to equity share capital account 30,000 into 2, being first call money due on 30,000 shares, isn't it? Being share first call money due on 30,000 shares, the rate rupees 2 per share. So it's coming 60,000. Now coming to the receive entry, we have seen there is some problem with that. So I'll just make a working note for all of you to understand here, to understand both calls in arrear as well as calls in advance. So just to find out what is the amount, calls amount working note will be a working note. Let us show this working note. So let's see what is there. Calls in arrear. So for calls in arrear, we can just simply say that there was a shareholder having 400 shares did not pay the first call money. So first call money was of how much rupees? It was of 2 rupees. First call money was of 2 rupees, right? First call 2 rupees ka tha. Okay. So how many shares? 400 shares, right? Multiplied by 400 shares at the rate rupees 2 per share, right? At the rate rupees 2 per share. Rupees कितना होता है 4 2 जा 800. Clear? 800 is the calls in arrear. And now coming to the calls in advance. Calls in advance. Just see how many a shareholder of 300 shares paid the money for second and final call of rupees 2. Okay. So 300 wala calls in advance. 300 shares, the rate rupees 2 per share. कितना होता है rupees 3 to just 600. Clear? Calls in advance भी मिल गया. अब क्या करना है? Now we'll find out what is the amount. Therefore, the amount of money received. Amount received on first call. How much amount we have received on the first call? Because calls in advance is also there. Calls in area is also there. Okay, so let's find out what is the amount. So amount received on first call equals to how much? Rupees. What was the first call money due? What is the amount of money due to be received in the first call? फर्स्ट कॉल में कितना रिसीव करना चाहिए था 60,000 rupees, isn't it? 60,000 rupees रिसीव करना चाहिए था. So now we have seen that it is 60,000 that we were supposed to receive. Here, out of that we have to deduct what we have to deduct, what we have not received. What we have not received? We have not received the area, that is 800 rupees we did not receive. And what extra we have received? Calls in advance. So what is that? 600 rupees. So how much is the amount now? It is 59,800, right? So this is the amount received on first call. Here, 60,000 we are supposed to receive. From there, we did not receive 800. So it comes to 59,200. And again, we have received the advance of 600. So it comes to 59,800 rupees. Clear? So what will be the journal entry for that? It will be bank account debit 59,800 rupees. Right? Then calls in arrear is there. So calls in arrear account debit 800 rupees. Clear? 2 equity share first call account 60,000 and 2 share first there is a 2 calls in advance will be 600 rupees. Let's see. Let's take it out. That is coming up here. Bank account debit 59,800 rupees. Calls in area account debit 800 rupees. 2 equity share first call account 60,000. 2 share 2 calls in advance account 600 rupees. Okay. Clear? Okay. So what is that? Being calls in area, being calls in arrear for 400 shares at rate rupees 2 per share, and calls in advance for 300 shares at rate 2 per share. Okay, you can mention it like this: being share first call money received, share first call money received and calls in area for rupees 200 rupees 400 shares at rate rupees 2 per share, and calls in advance on 300 shares at the rate rupees 2 per share occurred. Okay, in that way also you can write down, or if you want you can just mention it like this. That must be enough. Okay, so this is how you are going to place up the entries. Now let's see if anything else is there. No, the second and final call has not yet been made, so it will remain up to here. I hope all of you have understood this part and this question is clear to all of you. Okay, please mark all this attendance and please take due care of your studies, my dear students. The exam is not very far. We will meet in the next video with some new topics of this particular chapter. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Good night. Okay, say good evening.